Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
General quarters, all hands man your battle station.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
Hello everybody, Tom Trento here. Yes, we're coming at you from the road, and if you notice, I have my pink phone with me, so it is me, and I'm pushing a timer. We're pushing the timer because we are totally old school today, right now. If we had the capability to move the camera around to show you where we are, we're in a closet, essentially, a little room, tiny room, in the motel where we are doing the show from the road. We do not have the advantage today of our wonderful green screen and fabulous stuff and graphics and all of that. It's just me, Tom Trento, unplugged with you for a little bit of time. Appreciate everybody tuning in, both on the radio side. Now you understand that in our media conglomeration here, we produce a daily AM radio show. This is unique and distinct from Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio is fabulous. Anybody can be a talk show host. You sign up for Blog Talk Radio, and we encourage activists all over the world to do this, to become your own talk show host. Even if 10 people are listening to you, you have an influence of 10 people, and you never know how you may touch somebody's life who critically can touch many other lives. So the digital attack through the airwaves, utilizing any form of radio distribution, is critically important in today's day and age. Now, on Blog Talk Radio, it simply goes through the internet. You have to build an audience. You call up all your friends and any friends you have left, because if you're a conservative or a counter-jihadist in today's world, you don't usually have too many friends, but the 2 or 3 you may still have will listen to you, listen to the show when it's, every Sunday at 3 a.m. in the morning. And yes, I will make myself available to all our friends out there on Blog Talk Radio to be a guest on your show to help you out. Conversely, what we have here at TrentoVision is the radio station WWNN. We call it WNN, or more affectionately, NN at times. It is an AM radio program. That's the same band that Rush Limbaugh and Hannity and Hugh Hewitt and all these guys are on. We have 50,000 watts, which is a very strong signal. And we're hitting tens of thousands of people per day. We're not hitting millions of people because we have a smaller range, and our show may not be for millions of people. We try to gear the show toward intelligent. That wipes out about 90% of the audience. Intelligent, committed patriots who are activists. That's our focus group, and that's the information we provide. We also provide, obviously, information for the general hoi polloi, the general public. But we're not here just to entertain, though we do that. We're here to educate toward activism. And for the next few moments together on this show, I'm going to do an update as to where we have been as an organization over the past month, and how that these trips we've been on directly impacts your personal life on a daily basis. Everything we do is geared toward other people. We are serving our country, serving our fellow man in terms of fighting these battles, and then equipping you to either participate in the fight or to withstand the fight as it participates on your head. That's what we're all about. So again, thank you on this this particular day. I don't know when this show will be shown, but we're in the middle of the month of November. We may show it this week or next week. but it'll be relevant because I'm going to speak somewhat generically about some of these issues to give you an update. So we're on WNN 1470. It's a radio station in Boca Raton, Florida. We do not go to the station anymore. We have our own bunker somewhere else in the state of Florida where we have a television studio. We're looking to expand the small studio we have so that we can be more creative and more effective in communicating this message. Obviously, that takes money, and many of you out there are helping with donations, $18 a month, $25 a month. Some of you write some larger checks. Suffice to say, our budget is less than the salary of some of the leading counter-jihadists in the country. And their salaries are pretty modest. The only reason we can do what we do for the dollars that we do it for is because everyone is a volunteer. Sure, we'd like to change it at some point, at least cover expenses and a little bit of pay because people are worth the labor they provide, but we're simply not at a point yet to do that. And the next money we bring in, hopefully before the end of the year, because all of you have to make tax decisions, and your attorneys and your accountants are going to say, you need to give away $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, whatever the number may be. Well, remember us, okay? We are a 501c3. That means the idiotic Internal Revenue Service, who can't run their own deal, has at some point in the past, about 30 years ago for our organization, recognized us as an entity that provide something good for the people in America, and therefore those who help fund it can get a deduction on their taxes. So, and we're supposed to follow guidelines to not speak too boldly on certain issues, and we follow all the guidelines, though we speak very, very boldly. So please consider an end-of-the-year donation for us. The United West. Go to our website, theunitedwest.org. You'll see in the top right-hand corner, donate securely. That means if you donate there, nobody can steal your credit card information, okay? Thanks. We got a lot of stuff going on. As I said, we're in this little tiny room right now, and nobody is here but me. Damon's not here. CJ's not here. J. Mark Campbell isn't here.
Actually, I am here, Tom.
Oh, you are here?
Yes,
oh, you are here.
Someone's going to run the computer.
Oh, there you are on the floor. Okay. He's on the floor of our hotel room running the computer and the camera and all of that stuff. And thank God he is, so that we can get this stuff out to you. Because if I had to do a selfie, do the show as a selfie. Okay, everybody, hello, how's everything going? It'd be interesting, but probably annoying. All right, what I'd like to talk about is a little bit about Obamacare. As you know, the United West, we have 4 primary objectives. Defending the Constitution, and God knows, man, this thing is under attack by the leftists, the university students. Once you abandon as a fundamental platform the logical basis of truth, there is a right, there is a wrong, there is a yes, there is a no. Once you abandon that, which we have done culturally over a dispersed period of time, 10, 15, 20 years, then you can call any and everything into question, and you can be the master of your own universe, and you can interpret what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is just, from what you feel. That's where we're at today. And one of the targets is this uncompromising document that is so rigid, 237 years old, the U.S. Constitution. Don't let anybody ever make any sort of argument that that document is antiquated or inefficient anymore. We're the oldest surviving democracy ever, and that piece of paper has held us together. Actually, that piece of paper has been the bond by which its citizens have committed to joining a compact together for this great experiment called America. Well, that thing is under attack, and very few people, even very few people in Washington, D.C., are defending it. We find the dummies at the Tea Party level, the dopey, redneck, Bible-toting, gun-toting, patriotic Tea Party people as the primary group that fully understands the beauty, the essence, and the wonder of the U.S. Constitution. So we stand in solidarity with Tea Party people in their effort to return America to the principles of the Constitution, number one. Number two, one of the attackers of the U.S. Constitution is the Sharia-compliant Muslims in Islam. I'm going to talk about them in a second. But we stand in solidarity against anyone fighting Sharia-compliant Muslims, number two. Number three, we stand in solidarity and in defense of the state of Israel and Jewish people worldwide. Do you know there's 7 billion people in the world? There's 1.3 billion Muslims. There's 2 billion Chinese. There's 18 billion Italian people. I wish. There's, I don't know how many Italian people there. But there's 15 million Jewish people worldwide. In existence, 15 million. And I know some of you Jew haters are out there going, that's 15 million too many. You know, we understand that. We understand you thrive and live and get your energy and your hateful purposes by hating Jewish people. We understand that. That's why we fight you. 15 million Jewish people. There's 19 million people in Florida alone. There's more people in Florida than there are Jewish people in the world. We stand in solidarity with the state of Israel to have a state, and the state of Israel as our national security partner. And our fourth objective in this general overview for many of you new listeners on WNN 1470, for many of you faithful listeners, yes, I know we changed from 5 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and some of you don't like that, but some of you really do. The change expanded our opportunity to get to more people, and it enabled us to have this is really live. Yes, Dr. Rich Swire, I'm on the air live right now and can't talk to you. Is that okay? No, he said. What may you want? This, folks, I'm talking to Dr. Rich Swire of watchdogwire.org. He's or .com. What do you
.com. .com, right.
.com, he says. You got to go.
We'll put it on speaker. We can probably hear him on a little.
I'm going to put you on speaker, so don't say any curse words, okay? Because you're live on the air, okay?
I don't know.
Or is this a personal call?
Well, you got Phil.
All right, I'm gonna interview you, okay? So hang on, we're gonna try this live on the air first.
Very good.
Where's the audio?
Right there, just push it right towards the camera.
There you go. It doesn't show anything but his name. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, Dr. Rich Swire, you're on the air.
Well, listen, I just want to thank you, Tom, for all you do. I'm on my way to your neck of the woods. I'm going to be speaking tonight at Port St. Lucie, to the Port St. Lucie 912 group, and I'm going to be talking about citizen journalism. And so I want to just tell you that those people over there are doing a great work. They just got the county commission in St. Lucie County to drop out of the 750 plan. And so these are real activists over there, so you should be proud of that group down there.
No, Port St. Lucie is a bit north of where we are, not too far. We don't tell exactly where we are, but great people. And our good friends, Billy and Karen Vaughn, live not too far from there, so you should get in touch with them to see if they can make it over tonight. I don't know if you know it, but we are in Washington, D.C. right now, about to go to the Israel Allies Foundation conference that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So we're in D.C. We're not going to, otherwise we'd be up there to see you tonight.
Well, I want to wish you well, because Israel is under assault, not only from its enemies, but sadly from the United States and this administration. And I hope that you get the word to those that are going to be there. You and I know that AIPAC is not doing a great service to Israel with their friendly incumbent philosophy. And we need to strongly get behind Israel and support them in any way, shape, or form in whatever they want to do to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rich, we wish you the best up there in Port St. Lucie tonight. So the date the date is the 14th of November. We're on the 14th of November. This show may appear, probably will appear on the 15th of November due to technical issues. But we're getting feedback. We got to say goodbye to you right now, Rich.
All right, take care, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Dr. Rich Swire, he's a great, I need that for the, I'm doing something.
No.
He's a great example of what we do as an organization.
Right.
The third item that I was talking about that we do was Stand with Israel. The fourth item, the fourth mission element of the United West is this guy I'm looking at on the screen right here, President Obama. We have found very little in common with President Obama in terms of his belief structure or in terms of his behavioral governance methodologies, the way he governs. So we stand against President Obama because we have a big 3-hour briefing on this. We believe he is the most dangerous person for the world, for the whole world. When you are the top guy for the only superpower in the world, you are significantly powerful. Your office is significantly powerful. You can be an empty suit. And to some degree, the enigma of President Obama is that he does appear at times to be a completely empty suit filled by Valerie Jarrett inside of his suit. It's almost like she enters into his body in the morning and walks around telling him what to do and what to say and all of that. We have heard that he has a little earphone and she has a microphone and she tells him what to do and say all day long. But I can't verify that. Can't verify that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually true. So we stand against all things Obama. And we're just a small group. I mean, we're a small group of very talented people who are sincerely committed to protecting America and our friends. And we know what we talk about, and we passionately believe it. In the course of our work, we run into people like Dr. Rich Swire that just called in the middle of our live show here. And I'll tell you a quick story how we got together. And we have been together for 6 or 7 years now. I was running the Florida Security Council, which is the name before the United West. And the purpose of the Florida Security Council, very similar to the United West, but geographically, we only had Florida in focus. We formed an organization to provide protection against terrorism in the state of Florida because it was a launching pad indeed for terrorism. You can go to about 25 different locations in Florida and there are legitimate 9/11 stories. These guys were here where they were legitimately at about 25 locations. The various elements of the 19 pilots, 19 terrorists, 4 pilots. But you can also go to Florida and every little city says, oh, they were here, like Bigfoot. He was here. Oh, the terrorists were here. But legitimately, Florida was a launching pad for 9/11. Well, in the course of doing the national security work for the Florida Security Council, I got a phone call one day from a woman who was volunteering and helping us. And she says, I'm reading a column over on the west coast of Florida. For those of you geographically challenged, if you look at a map, Florida is a peninsula. Altogether, class, what's a peninsula? Mark, tell them.
The Florida.
What's a
Florida.
What's the definition of a peninsula?
It juts out from the coastline. Yeah, it does. It juts out from a coastline, and it's a little 3 sides of water.
Oh, there it is. Okay. You got to
Florida is a peninsula.
Yeah, you got to get the 3 sides of water. It's
Okay.
a body of land surrounded by 3 sides.
Give me a break.
Surrounded by three sides of water. Now, what is a onomatopoeia, Mark?
Onomatopoeia for 50, Alex.
Or 50. Florida is a peninsula, and our operation is on the east coast of Florida. That's the Atlantic Ocean. Rich Swire is over on the west coast of Florida, the Gulf of Mexico. Somebody called me from that area and said, I'm reading these columns in this little raggy, daily paper for some little city, but they're by a guy called the Duke. And man, does he sound like what you guys are doing at the Florida Security Council. So I said, get him on, get his number, let me talk to him. So I called him up. This is 6 years ago. And I said, I hear you're writing some great stuff. Who are you and what are you all about? And then he proceeded, Dr. Rich Swire, proceeded to tell me about his career, distinguished career in the United States Army, 24 years, lifer, retired after 24 years. He was deployed to Munich in 1972 when the Black September Palestinian
that's right.
terrorists killed the 11 Jewish athletes at Munich in 72. Rich was stationed outside of that, and his unit was deployed to Munich to provide protection for the Olympians. That was his initial taste, 1972, of terrorism. He then went on to serve with President Reagan on a panel to come up with a doctrine, we do not negotiate with terrorists, a very significant doctrine. He fought in the Vietnam War. He's the holder of 2 Bronze Stars in combat. He's a Ranger, paratrooper, 101st, I think. I don't want to get the unit wrong. But amazing soldier. Then he went on and had a distinguished career in education, got his doctorate in education from the University of Southern California. And taking his military and his educational background, he became a commentator through writing. He's an excellent writer on the political and national security issues of the day. So I talked to him. He was retired. I said, "What are you doing retired, man? How many hours a week do you have?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You have 20 hours?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You're signed up." And since that day, we have been working together every day, every week, every month, every year for 6 years, and he has been a phenomenal contribution to our organization, and obviously we have been a contribution to his work. There's a symbiotic relationship in terms of a unity of purpose, and I'm saying all of this to encourage our radio listeners out there, WNN 1470, to encourage our internet television viewers on TrentoVision.tv, on TeaPartyCommunity.com, another website, great website you should be going to regularly. Sign up there. It's a conservative Facebook where all of us meet and organize and chat. On BareNakedIslam.com, great website for some hardcore look into the system of Islam. We hooked up with Rich, and by way of encouragement, anyone out there in this day and age, I don't care if you're 90 years old or if you're 9 years old, if you want to say something, in this great country, we still have the freedoms to speak freely. And you can speak with a pen, you can speak on the internet, you can put a goofy camera in front of you, do what we do, and send it out into the internet. You can have an impact, and don't ever sell yourself short. Don't think you have nothing to say or you can't make an impact. For those of you of faith, if you trust God and allow God to equip you to speak and communicate even more effectively than you know you can, He will. I guarantee that. For those of you not of faith, you can pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and give it a shot. But there are so many dumb people speaking and influencing relatively smart people who aren't challenging it, that we need more people like Rich Swire to get involved. And you don't got to do 20 hours a week, but you should be participating in the cultural battles at least 1 or 2 hours a week. So on our update today, on the 14th of November, Tom Trento here, coming live on tape, as they say, from a little tiny room in a little tiny hotel in Washington, D.C. We thank you all for again, the commitment that you have. Now, what I want to do, I want to trace a little bit of our past month. It's been a pretty exciting month for the United West, our whole team. And because we have a team, it's enabled us to leave the studio and to go into the field. Now, those of you who have been following the United West for years, you know that we used to, we used to be on the road almost exclusively, confronting the Muslim Brotherhood and the Sharia-compliant Muslim entities in America face to face. They're really punks. I mean, they really are. They get this sort of Islamic strength in numbers.
Bullies.
And yeah, they're bullies. And like anything else, you stand up to bullies and they back down. And particularly in the United States, where there is a law of the land that even Sharia-compliant Muslims have to follow, though they they prefer to say, no, we don't. We follow the Sharia, so we can kill you, Tom Trento, and nobody will do anything about it. Well, you can kill me, but people will do something about it. You go to jail for the rest of your life, and if it happens in a state with capital punishment, in about 50 years, I can't believe, Mark, that Israel doesn't have capital punishment.
That blows me away. It really does.
It's we were there a couple of weeks ago, and a colonel was attacked, and it just came out recently. He was attacked, robbed, and then killed. Came out actually yesterday. That the two Palestinians, a 17-year-old kid and a 21-year-old kid, originally were just going to rob this Jewish guy in the West Bank where he lived, but they saw that he was a colonel. They went through his material, and then they beat the hell out of him with iron rods and killed him as a gift to the Palestinians. As a gift to the Palestinians. That's what they said on the record. They've been caught. And now Israel has to deal with a 17-year-old and 21-year-old who are fully culpable for their crime. Can't execute them because they don't have the death penalty. So they'll sit in Israeli prisons for a few years and then get released in a bizarre, John Kerry, Secretary of State, and President Obama, Netanyahu, we got to release more prisoners, and then we'll have peace in the Middle East. So that's how crazy things are. But our great team at the United West enables some of us to travel. Mark and I traveled to Israel back in the end of September, actually the first 2 weeks in October. Mark, take a minute and just share with the audience your emotional, not intellectual, but your emotional response or feelings from that trip.
The Israel trip, it's a life-changing trip. It's yeah. We actually have the proposal here, so we can do that. And sorry, we got distracted.
Yeah, we got other stuff. It's gonna be a 2-hour show.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing trip, life-changing trip. You got to do it when we go next time. Simply stated, that's it in a nutshell.
Life-changing, and we are going November 9th of 2014. We're putting another briefing together. Frank Gaffney and myself will be the team leaders instructing on the national security stuff. We're adding a couple of others. We're working on some very cool people to come on this that live in Israel, can give us a tremendous insight into the areas. Ron Wexler, Heritage Study Tours, is putting it together. November 9, 2014. The whole thing, 2 weeks, costs between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on if you want to stay in one room or another room or whatever you want to stay. So contact me, Tom at TrentoVision.tv, if you remember TrentoVision.tv, or Tom at theunitedwest.org, and say, I want to know about this trip going to Israel. We'll send you all the information. Life-changing trip. One of the potential life-changing moments was when we were invited to the Knesset. The Knesset is the governmental seat in Israel, just like our U.S. Capitol, the halls of Congress. We went to the halls of Congress in Jerusalem. The name of the building and the entity, the body, is the Knesset. You're an MK, a member of the Knesset. If you're in Parliament in Europe, you're an MP, member of Parliament. If you're a member of the U.S. Congress, you're an idiot, usually, idiot for the most part. But we sat down with an MK, member of the Knesset, and we asked a bunch of questions. And in that discussion, Mark actually asked if Israel would be interested in designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a official terrorist organization in light of what's occurring in the next door state, Egypt. And some of the folks there expressed a real interest in moving ahead to do that. Now, the complicating factor is the Brotherhood in some of those countries get into leadership positions, and if Israel designates the Muslim Brotherhood as an official terrorist organization, they cannot, by law, interface in any sort of way with the leaders
Good.
of the country next to them.
That's the whole point.
On one sense, that's very good. On another sense, with the nuancing of politics in the strange world we live in.
I don't want to work with terrorists.
I know. But the joke of all of this is Hamas is a designated terrorist organization, which is the Muslim Brotherhood.
Which is.
So it's like, okay, we're not going to look over here and call the Muslim Brotherhood terrorists, but we will look at Hamas and call them terrorists, and the same thing. So that's the kind of world we live in, folks. But in that Knesset meeting, we were invited to Washington, D.C. This was back in October, and we're here a month later now. We were invited to Washington, D.C. to participate in the Israel Allies Foundation. And on the show yesterday, which was the 13th of November, Damon and CJ and Alan Bergstein went through this a little bit. The bottom line is the Israel Allies Foundation is a independent organization that works in conjunction with the Israeli government and other entities to build a coalition of organizations that have Zionism as their base, and succinctly I'll define Zionism as the belief that the designated land of Israel, more than even where the Israelis are now, certainly more than all the 47, 48 green lines and the partitions and all of that, that the land was given to the Jewish people in biblical times, and then it was lost to others in wartime. Thrown out by the Romans in 70 AD, the Jews they were dispersed to diaspora. Folks, you want to see a miracle? Watch, boom! Want to see me create a miracle in front of your eyes? Boom! The Jewish people, okay? Never in the history of the world has a body of people from a nation who were dispersed through their own particular proclivities or through external forces, war, left their land, be away for 2,000 years, not become so assimilated that their unique entity, who they are, dissipated into other cultures. 2,000 years the Jews have been away from a homeland. Through all this time, through their religious beliefs, their religious customs, their nationalistic customs, they've maintained the integrity of what it means to be Jewish by living in 100 other countries, usually in some sort of second-class form, not as leaders, not as kings and potentates of other countries, but as sub-citizens in many of these countries. Sub-citizens to the degree that, let's kill 6 million of them, okay, just for kicks. Through all of that, Jewish people maintained their identity, their religious and nationalistic identity, and reconvened in their homeland. That is a miracle of miracles that has never happened. Now, for Christians like me, you see that and you see it predicted in the Bible and you go, oh my God, this is amazing. For Muslims who hate Jews, this is like, freaking Jews, what's with them? We spread them all over the world, we try to crush them and they still stay together. Yeah, once you get the message, dear Muslim folks out there, you can't crush the Jewish people, okay? They are God's chosen people. Now, when I say chosen, some Jewish people I've seen make a mistake to think chosen for a special purpose because they may be better than others. I've run into Jewish people in the past that said, we're better than other people. The true Jewish understanding, and this is the majority of people I deal with, the conservative, more observant Jewish people truly understand the chosen element is a burden. Not a blessing in one sense, but a burden chosen for a mission, chosen to bring Torah, the light of the Word of God, to people that don't want to hear it. You know, people like to live in darkness. Go get a match and put it in front of their eye, and they're going to repel and go, put that damn thing out. Jewish people have been chosen by God to be a light in the eyes of people that don't want to stay like darkness. It's a very heavy burden. But they've maintained that burden. They're trying, many, many, many today, to still bring the light of Torah and the truth of God's Word out. And look, as a Christian, and there's no secret to this, myself and many of my observant Jewish friends, we have a very serious disagreement on who the Messiah is. I believe the Messiah is Jesus Christ. They say, no, he's not. I say he came back once, he's going to come back again. No, he didn't. Yeah, that's a very important and significant debate and discussion. But if you notice, we don't kill each other over that. We recognize our differences, and true bonding relationships are built on accepting other people's differences, not this phony baloney Muslim interfaith crap. Oh, let's find our common bonds and ignore our differences. That's not real friendship, friends. Real friendship is, I know exactly where we disagree, I accept it, and I can live with you in light of that. Now, that's the bridge that builds a strong relationship to where we agree. That's why this conference today in Washington, the allies of Israel, particularly Christian allies, is so unique and important, because it's a true bond, a real bond, not an artificial Muslim interfaith garbage bond. Very important. All right, so coming out of the Israel trip, we got this invitation. We're here today, and we got some good time left to get this stuff done. Mark and I and others, we started traveling around Florida because we recognize that the breakdown of the rule of law leads inevitably to the breakdown of the culture, the society, the government, and you got Syria. Okay? You got Syria, Muslims on Muslims killing each other. America is a phenomenal country. America is a great country. We have about 100 people that need to be removed from Congress, both on the left part of the Capitol building and on the right part, not politically, the Senate part and the House part. If we change about 100 people, it's probably half of that, but at least 50 people, and put in good people who think differently. You get rid of Harry Reid, get him voted out of office.
Nancy Pelosi.
And Nancy Pelosi. Those two positions, you put a true a constitutional conservative, you put Louis Gohmert in there, you put Trey Gowdy in those positions, exactly. You got a new America. You have a new America with changing two people, Trey Gowdy, Louis Gohmert, and they're both in the Congress side. But if you stick one in the Senate side, put Louis Gohmert as the Speaker of the House, Trey as the head of the Senate.
Or just get rid of McCain.
Get rid of McCain and Boehner. You got a different America, folks. These are not
sacrosanct positions, right?
No, they're not, and they're not impossible obstructions to overcome. They can be overcome on November 4th, 2014. So we came back from Israel, recognizing the strategic necessity of standing with Israel as a national security partner. Did you hear what I just said? Strategic necessity. Now, I waxed eloquently about the wonder of Israel and all of that, and Mark, and we shared our emotional feelings. Factually, put all the emotional crap aside, okay? Factually, Israel is necessary as a national security partner for the health and welfare of the United States of America. Okay, we make that point on TrentoVision, WNN 1470 on the radio. We make that point all the time. Israel is an oasis in a friggin' jungle. There are 330 million Muslims surrounding Israel, the majority of whom want to destroy and kill Israel. We were in Jordan, Mark and I, on our trip. We stopped at a roadside bazaar where they sell coffee and trinkets and tourist stuff, and we started thumbing through the Jordanian books, the history books, and all the maps. What happened, Mark, when you looked at the maps?
There was no Israel on the map. It was
Palestine.
It was Palestine.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of them didn't even have it just did not exist.
It didn't exist. If you go look at the books in Jordan, there is no Israel, okay?
And we had a friend come back from the West Bank. I tell him about that too. I mean, a little bit. With the
which one was that?
Our friend who went through Bethlehem and went down.
Oh yeah. Oh, a friend of ours went in surreptitiously.
It says there are no maps of Israel down there.
Yeah, with some.
Which is the border's right next to them.
This is in the West Bank, and Jordan's a different country with a peace treaty with Israel. They don't recognize in their own geography Israel. And our point.
It's like, okay, I'm not recognizing the state of Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia doesn't exist. And in the West Bank situation, it's I'm not recognizing Orlando or Miami in the state of Florida. It's crazy stuff. But we had a friend who went in surreptitiously with some lefties, some American lefties, and went on a tour by Palestinians of some areas of the left bank, the West Bank. What?
All the terrorists that were just released, or tell them what happened?
Oh, yeah. Our friend went to some of the places that the terrorists who just recently were released in Kerry's Faustian bargain with Netanyahu to trade murderers for goodwill. Here's our goodwill. Here's all our murderers. We're going to let them all out. Give us a little bit of goodwill. How stupid is this? This is the exact opposite way, but nevertheless. Our friend went into the West Bank with Palestinians, and they went to the homes where some of these terrorist killers lived, and the streets were paved. The walls were paved with posters welcoming them home. Posters approved by the Palestinian Authority. They had their sticker on them.
No, they printed them, yeah.
They printed them up. Palestinian Authority, who's trying to have peace with Netanyahu and Israel, stamp of approval on welcoming terrorist killers home. That's the world we're living in. But our point was, the Israel is a necessary national security partner in the midst of all these crazy people. Thus, we went on a tour, and we're on a continued tour in Florida because it's such a significant political state. We've got to help educate people there. We went on a tour to about 4 or 5 different places, testing out a theory we have, and we're going to introduce to you right now, a theory we have on why Republicans keep losing races. Okay? I mean,
theory?
You can get the good spin, like, oh, we're really doing well, and in North Dakota, a mayor won. He wasn't supposed to, but he's a Republican, and he won by 50 votes, and you can get those anecdotal stories. But who runs the country right now? We have a Democrat administration, a Democrat Senate, and a Democrat House of Representatives. Oh, wait, Tom, the majority of the House of Representatives are Republicans. Oh, really? Then why is it being run like a Democrat House of Representatives? Because we have representatives in there that, as our colleague Andy McCarthy said recently in an article he wrote, he said many of the Beltway, the traditional Republican leaders, are more interested in advancing President Obama's social welfare programs than in standing in solidarity with Tea Party patriots regarding the essential necessity of constitutional principles. Andy McCarthy wrote that. That's the situation we have. We're losing elections. So Mark set out on a mission to investigate, why is this happening? Why did we lose? Florida's usually a red state. Why did we lose by 74,000 votes? Why did Romney lose in 2012?
Wow, we increased votes in.
Yeah, so we start doing some research. We're going to share some of the research with you, but we went to work out some of this research in these grassroots groups. We went to first we went to where? Daytona?
Yep, Daytona.
Daytona Beach, to a patriotic 912 group up there, 50, 100 people or so. Did a presentation on all the stuff we do, and then said, hey, check out these numbers in Palm Beach County, where our radio station was based, Palm Beach County. And for those of you from around the world, Palm Beach County is the second largest county in the world. It's huge. And in the geography of Florida, down on that peninsula, that long thing coming down, the southernmost significant county is Dade County, Miami-Dade, that's where Miami is. North of that is Broward County, Fort Lauderdale. North of that is Palm Beach County, where the town of Palm Beach is, West Palm Beach. Those 3 counties provide the majority of the population center. About 5 million of the 19 million people are aggregated in 3 counties, and about 500,000 Jewish people. There's 800,000 Jewish people in Florida. 500,000 are in those 3 counties, and the majority are not conservative Republicans. They're leftist, center-left Democrats. So the county that our radio station was in was 2 to 1. The registered Republicans versus registered Democrats. 2 Democrats to every 1 Republican. Got that? Are you putting stuff up while we're doing this?
Yeah,
Okay.
you got the 2-to-1.
Okay, we're doing fancy
And
work
these are the
here.
actual numbers. This is actually
Okay.
actual numbers coming from the county. Individual at the Department of Elections.
I can't see what it is.
But it's on. Yeah, you do. You've got a little thing there.
Oh yeah. Well, what page are we on?
Well, you're skipping around on me. We're on page 31.
I got a book here. I got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we're on page 31, and you got a whole book there.
Okay, I'll go through some of it.
Okay, actually, the one that should be is the media. Is the breakdown of Romney's spending?
We got to do that.
Breakdown of Romney's spending.
Yeah, we got to do that.
That's just craziness.
We got to do that. Okay, so what are we talking about here?
So 32,981 votes for that we got.
We got two Democrats to every 1 Republican in Palm Beach County.
Right.
All right, hold that. Somehow, and when we signed a contract to do the radio last September 1st, 2012, signed a 3-month contract, and our objective was a 3-hour show, if you remember. Our objective was to win Palm Beach County for the Republican candidate, who was Mitt Romney. Now, granted, he's a nice guy, all of that. I'm a fairly serious, constitutional, free market, small government conservative, as is the rest of our group. So Mitt Romney was not like, hey, that's the guy we want. That's the guy that survived the crazy system of finding.
He was
somebody.
4th on my choice.
He was 4th on Mark's chart. He wasn't on my chart. But in any event, we're loyal Republicans for a little while longer, because the Republican philosophy, as compared to the Democrat philosophy, makes more sense in constructing a civilized, a just, a fair society for the majority of the people. You're always going to have people that fall through the cracks. You don't construct your society based upon those who fall through the cracks. Otherwise, the counter effect will be the majority of people fall through the cracks, like we have with the Obamacare system now. We had a healthcare system in the United States that was good for 80-95% of the people. 5-10%, 5 million or so fell through the cracks. Obama comes along and says, it's analogous to 100 people in your classroom, and 5 of them say, we don't want to do whatever the thing is for today. We want to do something different. And the teacher going, okay, we'll do what you 5 people want. And then going in the direction of the 5 people disrupts the 95 people. That's exactly what's happening with Obamacare today. It's too big. It's too complex, it's too costly, and it's too bad. I mean, it's a bad system. But why did President Obama do it? It fits right into our analysis of the political losses in Palm Beach County. President Obama favored the 5%, the small people who are falling through the cracks, because right now in America, the political parties are basically at a stalemate. 44, 44, 45, 45. Then you always have the goofy parties, 3, 4, 5%. There's 4 or 5% in there that usually makes a difference in national, state, and local elections. Well, if President Obama and his functionaries can throw a bone to 5, 10, 15 million people, who will, the bone being free health care, and then they'll vote Democrat for the rest of their lives to keep the subsidies coming, then he knows he's just shifted the tide in turning America to a blue country. That's why he did this, folks, for political reasons, not for healthcare reasons. Our research in Palm Beach County said, hey, Republicans, you can overcome the Obama machine, the grassroots machine that he's phenomenal at, by abandoning your tried and failed, old-time, useless methodologies of winning campaigns. You ready for some of the stuff? Okay. Let's show you this right now for the
And I'm going to show the viewers the votes that we got. Now, real quick, to put this in perspective, we're 32,981 votes that we gained. Compare that to all the swing states. We were number 1 in the state of Florida. And now you compare that to all the swing states that were, in the election, county by county, all 655 counties. You notice that Palm Beach County was also the number one overall U.S. in gaining votes for Romney. And I mean, they're mind-blowing numbers. They really are. But
let me tell them what's on the screen right now.
The number one overall U.S.
Okay, put the big 32,000 number up.
Okay.
Take a look at this slide, folks. Here's what happened in Palm Beach County. Now, remember, 2 Democrats for every 1 Republican. Okay. TrentoVision, United West sets out September 1st, basically 60, 70, 80 days to pound Palm Beach County with a negative hit against Obama by just telling the truth. If you tell the truth about President Obama, it's negative for him. And a very positive, visionary
Well, I
message.
actually have those numbers too, Tom, what our negative message was.
But our approach was, let's reveal, we do exposés. Let's reveal President Obama's failure, particularly on national security issues and on some domestic issues. And then let's communicate our visionary message of a constitutionally founded government. That's what we set out to do. The result in Palm Beach County, the tangible, empirically verified result, was that notwithstanding more Democrats than Republicans, the Republican candidate, Mitt Romney, gained 32,981 votes more in 2012 against the Democrat candidate, President Obama, than was gained in 2008, Obama against McCain. And Romney, in many respects, was a weaker candidate that fewer people came out for. But the anomaly is, why such a huge increase, 32,981 Republican votes in a Democrat county?
2-1.
That's 2-1. How did that happen? Explain that, Mark.
And also, though, on top of this is very big money down here for the DNC. Palm Beach County is just, Daddy Got Rocks and Susie Diamond are all living down here.
And Obama was at every fundraiser from every leftist group you could imagine, and every mansion in Boca Raton and Palm Beach. We were opening up the doors. They were bowing as he came down to Florida. Tons of Democrat money. But don't forget, Mark, also, during that our radio campaign, we, the United West, and WNN, through WNN 1470, we had we participated in 4 debates against Democrats. So myself and a partner, usually Alan Bergstein, we had 4 live debates with Democrat opponents regarding the campaign, and then we took those debates and put them on the air. We're going to explain how we utilized our communication skills and our grassroots experience to not be the only reason why these 32,000 plus votes were gained, but to be a significant reason. And our point today, right now, folks, it's a very positive, very encouraging point for all conservatives out there. What we did in Palm Beach County, if we want another live guest, what we did in Palm Beach County in 2012 November can be replicated in other areas in the state of Florida and other swing states and deliver a victory in 2014 and, more importantly, in 2016. We have the winning formula. And the winning formula is simply an AM radio station as the delivery system for the smart bombs, the ideological smart bombs. You need a delivery system. The AM station covers vast areas. Then you need a smart bomb. A smart bomb is our message, a visionary message for what America could be like if it selects the right leaders. And then you need an expose, an analysis of the bad guys, why they ought not be chosen. Now that's what many people do. I mean, Rush Limbaugh does that. That's what radio does. Our secret component that made the distinct difference is our skill at grassroots organizing. In Palm Beach County, we were able to parlay our digital capabilities by bringing in grassroots activists who were running phone banks, who were running literature distribution drops, who were running surveys. We brought them onto the show, explained to our audience what these people did, and then made an appeal for volunteers to help the leaders on the ground do the grunt grassroots activism on the ground that wins campaigns. That's what did it. Watch what the Republicans did in their totally failed campaign of throwing money at a problem that needs grassroots activism.
We simply activate activists. That's what I have on the screen for you.
We activate activists.
But you want to go to the
Yeah, let's
chart?
go to the money thing in a few minutes remaining here.
Okay, I get the pie chart up of how Romney spent all his millions.
And we're going to do this in great detail over the next few shows. We know we're kind of throwing it out as an overview now, but explain. I don't see the screen. Explain.
Well, you got the pie chart right
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. I got this thing.
Yeah. Go to page 4.
Here we go.
Pie chart. Okay.
This one. How Romney spent donor dollars.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Now, for you stupid donors out there giving money to the Republican Party, stop doing that. Okay. Did Tom Trento just say stop giving money to the Republican Party?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
It makes no sense.
I don't care if you just throw it in the toilet right
You can
now.
throw it in the toilet.
Just don't, don't give it to them.
Now, taking the hyperbole and backing it off a little, make very small contributions to the Republican Party for candidates you like. Don't be writing these huge checks because they get pissed away by media buyers. And here's the quick analysis. A media buyer works with a campaign to buy television ads. They get 15% right off the top. So if a campaign, Joe Blow running for whatever, spends $50,000 on TV ads, and everybody needs TV ads to win a campaign, except you lose all the time, Republicans. The media buyer gets 15% right off the top of that. Well, $12,500, whoop, right off the top. Do you think a media buyer ever is going to say, well, we don't need any more TV commercials? He's going to say constantly, we need TV commercials. We just got hit. We got to have another TV commercial. More money, more money. And dopey Republican rich people keep writing these checks that go to media buyers for commercials that every one of you watching and listening, you don't even watch these stupid commercials anymore. You go, oh, get that thing off. I'm tired of that. That's my little alarm that says we got 3 minutes left.
Okay, good.
Okay, you got to keep me up to 3 minutes. So stop. So what we're saying is we've got to cut back. Romney raised $1 billion. How much of it went to TV advertising? $480 million. In Florida alone, what was the number in Florida alone for
$95 million.
$95 million.
We were the number one. 20% of all the money spent on the campaign was spent in Florida. In Florida, 95 million. Just Republicans. We're not even talking about the Democrats.
This is Republican money. 95, almost $100 million.
Well, it's actually a lot more than that because we're not even throwing in the PAC money and the super PAC money that was dumped in.
This is just a candidate, right? For $100 million, folks, we'll, you know what we can do? I mean, we can do some cool stuff with $100 million. But $100 million in a losing effort, that's because there's a point of diminishing returns when you're trying to move public opinion. Now I'm getting tactically precise on how to win elections. There's a point of diminishing returns when you have exhausted a human being's capability to follow the ridiculous ads that are on TV. They don't have a return anymore. It's diminished. Conversely, if you touch that individual personally through a significant grassroots campaign, virtually door-to-door or friend-to-friend, which is what the Democrats do, now you've taken someone, you've met them at a point of need, and you've persuaded them one-on-one, small groups, churches, other kinds of groups. You've persuaded them, we've got to move in this direction. You don't need the trillions and zillions of stupid dollars being thrown away. So that's the quick overview.
Well, I want to give you 10 seconds. You do the real funny thing about this whole thing is, let's say, okay, just continue to do exactly
Your
what
crazy system, okay.
Continue your crazy system the way it is and spend all your $95 million in Florida. Explain to me why. Explain to me why there was 200, and this is the real funny thing here. The real funny thing here is $252 million wasn't even spent by the Romney campaign.
What?
$252 million wasn't even spent. It's left in the bank. Can you believe that? That blows me away.
All right, that's very, very important.
They don't even use it. It's for what?
Romney raised almost 1.2 billion with a B, 1.2 billion. and 200 million or so. And we're still working on the numbers, but it's in excess
Well, that's
of
the
100
New York
million.
Times. These are my numbers. These are the New York Times.
What, 200 what?
252 million.
252 million, as reported by the New York Times, was money unspent by the Romney campaign. Okay. Now, what is that all about? Now, there is a legitimate use for some of that in terms of a battle afterwards. If it's a close race, you have to have a big legal battle. That could be $40 million. But $250 million of hard-earned donor money that already was
21%.
diminishing. Yeah, was already diminishing returns for TV ads. If a little bit of that money was redirected toward groups like us who are doing the hardcore digital communication to grassroots activism, old school activism, grassroots activism, like the Democrats are doing, if a little bit of that was directed to some organizations around the state, around the country like us, educators, could have been a difference, folks. We're going to do a lot of work on this. We're going to pound this information. We're going to pound the Republicans on this. We're going to expose the Republicans on this. We're going to try to change the paradigm so that we don't, by default, give away our culture to Democrats who want to run it into the gutter. So we got to win. We need you to do it. Thank you for tuning in. Tom Trento, J. Mark Campbell saying goodbye from one of the most fabulous cities on the face of the earth, Washington, D.C. It really is. Bye.